How do you want Sedgefield to grow?
Woe is meter.
And Paying the Piper.
My name is Bomber Webb.
And I am Christopher Olsen.
Aha! And you're about to listen to both of us on This Week in Sedgefield.
Bomber, where are we?
We are in a coffee shop.
But which one?
Oh, the Daily Grind.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Good one.
They've just moved across
Great
the road.
coffee. They have.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's actually a really nice building here. So thank you so much to Charlene and everyone here that we can. And this is happening because there's construction. We can't get to the studio at the moment. It's through taped doors and all sorts of things.
Yeah, terrible.
So we had to come out.
It's onto the streets, and it's Human Rights Day. Oh man,
it's Human Rights Day! Happy Human Rights Day!
Thank you.
Yeah, we're recording this and releasing this on Human Rights Day because of construction and reasons and all that.
Did your kids like their human rights presents? And did you sit around the human rights tree?
Yes, we decided to give them life.
Okay.
And allow them to continue to have life.
Oh, you're feeding them?
Yes. We decided to do that today.
Always nice.
Yeah.
Always nice.
We actually gave them Future Life for breakfast. That's a human rights celebration, right?
So, yeah.
Oh, very good. But so great that we do live in a country that we can celebrate this, that we've got a great constitution, and although it is tumultuous and just all over the place at the moment, and a lot of uncertainty in a lot of areas,
all over the world, in fact.
Exactly, That is just kind of one of those times, hey?
But that's the background noises of the coffee shop. It's a public holiday. It's great that they're open, and this is where we're recording from. And we got a lot to talk about, haven't we?
Oh, we do. Hey, I think we should launch straight into the spatula.
The Spatial Development.
I'm always going to call it the spatula because that helps me remember. This is the Spatial
Development Framework.
Spatial Development Framework. Okay,
for Sedgefield.
Yes, for Sedgefield.
It's the proposed,
Yes. Okay, cool. So there was the last or the latest draft was released, a 70-page document, an absolutely brilliant one from what I've seen so far. I haven't gone through it with a fine-tooth comb.
You haven't workshopped it.
That's true, Because I don't think that would help to take a fine-tooth comb through it. I should probably read it rather.
Yeah, I think so.
And there are colourful pictures and colourful fonts
there's
and
maps and all sorts.
Oh, yeah, it's actually quite lovely.
It really is it's a good document.
I think so.
And some of these things that if you open it up and have a look, you're immediately bogged down with boredom and long sentences and whatever.
Bogged down with boredom.
But it's been put together by, not by the municipality. The municipality's employed a company to do it. The company is called Site Plan. CITEPLAN.
Oh, I see what they did there.
Yes, the author is Mr. Casper Badenhorst.
Okay.
And it's basically talking about how Sedgefield can grow and how it should grow.
Yes, and being intentional about its growth because it is going to grow.
It is growing. It is going to grow.
Yeah.
We can't stop the growth. I know a lot of people want to, but we also don't want it to grow badly, horribly.
That's right.
We don't want it to become an industrial hub. Well, we don't. Some people might.
Some people might,
And I think that's what it is. It's taking everyone's ideas into consideration. They've put this document together, and they're asking for response.
Yes. Okay.
If you don't mind, I'd like to read just a couple of paragraphs.
Yeah, the first. That'll be great.
Preamble.
That's it.
Of the
Give us a good
document,
framing of it.
It puts you in a good state of mind. So it says the Local Spatial Development Framework, the LSDF, and nothing to do with LSD. The LSDF
that we know of. I mean, it's a long document.
For Sedgefield serves as a pivotal tool in aligning with the overarching aim of the Nysa Municipality Integrated Development Plan. So that's that separate thing.
Yeah.
Designed to embrace the vision of an inclusive, innovative, and inspired municipality. This framework stands as a guiding light towards sustainable growth and development. This is the part I like.
Yes, okay.
Acknowledging the town's rich tapestry of tourism, culture, and artistry.
I love that.
Sedgefield emerges as a slow town adorned with many public mosaic artworks, creating a vibrant and eclectic ambience unique to the area.
That's a good word, eclectic.
I like that. It describes Sedgefield really well, doesn't it?
Yeah. No,
nestled
I like
amid picturesque landscapes of lakes, sand dunes, and feinbos. Makes it sound like a nice place to live.
I might want to live
this
there.
This seaside village boasts a haven for water sport enthusiasts and beach lovers alike.
Yeah, and a lot of recreational kind of things.
It sounds like they're taking everything into consideration.
That's it. So I was having a great discussion with another lady on our street who also is a mom of a young family, her and her husband, and they got 2 kids who are in the school. And we're also one of the new families that have come in over the past years. And there are a whole lot of those. And what we were kind of discussing was how it's really up to us to look at what is Sedgefield now and what do we really like about Sedgefield. What has been part of Sedgefield just being such a great place because we have loved it and adored it and see it as just absolutely amazing. And we want to preserve. What can we preserve for our kids coming up, for the next generation?
That's it.
And this kind of document and acknowledging those points and really distilling them down to this is what Sedgefield is so stinking helpful.
Absolutely.
Really, really cool. The arty parts, all of that. So what do we do about this document now? We've got. Well, I'll put it in the. Sorry, for everyone, I'll put it in the description.
The link.
The link for this, so that you can check it out and then give comments.
It's on the Knysna municipality website. Though,
it is. It's hosted there. Yeah.
So it's very. If people can't click on the link or whatever, they can just look up knysna.gov.za. I think is their website.
Yes. Yeah.
And look for Sedgefield Spatial Development.
I think you can do a search and it'll probably show up there. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I think what the idea is for people to have a look for the document, have a look through. I think there's about 60 days.
For comments.
Yeah, the Sedgefield ratepayers are actually trying to sort of put together to collect people's views.
Consolidate
is the word. Well done. Yeah. So what could be if you have comments on the document,
the spatula document,
spatula document, it's a good idea to send them to the Sedgefield ratepayers. And so they can compile their own sort of list of comments.
That's it, because they're not the ones doing it, but they're really an organization who's pulling a lot of people together, a lot of us together to try to make sure that this is done right. Because you can look at maps and you can look at things and, I mean, forgive the expression, but the devil is in the details a lot of the time with these things. And that's why it takes a lot of us to go through it. This is something that is on all of us. It's in the sphere now of us to look through, to check out, does this make sense? Do we agree? Do we disagree? And where's our space for compromise as well? But that's going to be absolutely brilliant to do.
And it's not a document that, quite often we look at municipal documents with a bit of suspicion.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's necessary with this. I think it's a well-presented document. Yeah. And I think they have the community at heart.
Yes.
But they might be suggesting things that we don't want,
not
suggesting things that we do want.
Yeah.
So good to have your voice.
It's amazing how much work has gone into it. So a lot of appreciation for that. One of the big issues around our growing town is, of course, water and water access. Now, this is ongoing. This was the front page of the Edge. It's been before.
And what I'm sure you're leading to is the water meter.
Oh, the water meter.
Woes.
Oh, the dreaded water meter woes. Woe is them. For some people, because I mean, for a lot of people, and there was the stat in the front page story that about 70% of them, or something like that, were just getting water, even if it showed zero, or it was something weird like that.
It's that whole problem that hasn't been resolved, and we've talked. It's almost getting boring. If it wasn't so serious, it would be boring.
Yeah.
These water meters that were prepaid water meters that were installed. Sometimes people weren't very keen, but they were talked into having them installed.
Yep, that's us as well.
Because it would make life easier. You could buy your water in advance, load the tokens on. You wouldn't be hit with large water bills at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And the whole system has just failed because they bought a whole lot of dodgy water meters.
And then the implementation of them has not been great.
It's been terrible.
Either.
And what's happening with so many places in Sedgefield and Greater Knysna is the water meters are failing. People can't load their tokens on. And, I don't want to go through the whole thing because we did ask Councillor Lavelle Davis for some words on it.
That's it. So he sent a really robust and a great kind of Yeah, a great comment on this with a lot of very important points. So we're going to give a few summaries of this. Let's hear it in his voice, and then let's just chat a little bit about it and see if we can land on something.
Yeah, yeah.
What is the main issue? The main issue is the response time in dealing with water meter related requests. That's the ultimate goal. How quickly, when you run out of water, how quickly does the municipality reinstate that water so that you have water? So that has not been resolved yet because, number one, the team that used to work with the water meters no longer have a contract, and the municipality does not want to renew their contract. There were rumors that they were going to be renewed, but there are certain dynamics. One of the reasons is that obviously labor law, people work for longer than 3 months, then you have to employ them permanently. The other issue is they're telling councillors, and they've told us that they're starting with a rollout of a pilot project in April to roll out smart meters, which will replace these faulty meters. But now, so obviously these people will have their own teams, and they might absorb the guys that were busy, they might absorb them into those contracts. They've now delegated the plumbers. Remember now, this is besides the normal plumbing work. So if there was a pipe break, and your meter also broke at the same time, you can forget about it. Until those plumbers fix that pipe break, you're going to be without water. Actually, this is the ultimate dilemma, and which I feel is very inconsiderate, towards residents. It's unfair. You have the resources. Why is this happening? So when the plumbers go out, up until 2 weeks ago, none of them knew how to use the UIU because they were not trained. But at the end of the day, the question is the pace of fixing it, and how does the municipality give people reliable water supply?
Okay, so the key issue there that we hear from him is that your water is off, you have no water, and it's taking really long to get your water switched back on.
Yeah, that's it. And sometimes in frustration, it seems, people's water meters are just being switched over to free flow.
Yes, yeah, and then you just have no way of knowing, and who's paying for that? It's all of us paying for that.
Everyone's paying for it. So even though you are enjoying free flow of water without it being monitored, the problem with the infrastructure in Knysna and Sedgefield is they don't have enough money to sort it out.
Yeah.
And people having free flow water is not helping because they're not getting their revenue.
That's right.
I couldn't help feeling that the councillor sounded so dejected, frustrated.
Not apathetic yet.
Yes.
Because he's speaking about how he's really trying. He's pushing for this. He knows the frustration. He feels the frustration, I'm sure, himself, just as a
Imagine
resident.
being in that position where everyone's phoning you and saying, sort this out, it's your job.
Yeah.
And him saying, I can't sort it out.
I'm meeting with the people.
Yeah.
We've got this big plan, but it's been several months without directors and the municipality and the council, just doing their thing and fighting back and forth and playing the shuffling game. And this is just one of the areas that we see the community taking the hit, where it should be there to serve the community, but this ends up being one of the areas that we take the hit. And it's a serious one. Yeah. It's not just impacting the lofty and the wealthy or the upper middle or whatever. This is just across the board.
Absolutely.
So we're going to definitely keep a finger on the pulse of that.
He has mentioned that there's a new director in the water. Is it the water and sanitation department?
I believe so, yeah.
Anyway, infrastructure. There's a new director who he says he's talking the talk. Yeah. And he believes, Livell believes that this guy's going to walk the walk. Or the proof will be in the pudding.
Exactly,
the pudding on
the water pudding.
The water.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some watery pudding.
Yeah,
that'll be really, really helpful.
Oh, and I can smell bacon and eggs.
Oh, it smells so good.
Doesn't it?
That's so great. Hey, but speaking of water and watery friends, how are our penguins doing?
Oh,
we have a big heart for penguins. Everyone does.
I'm so glad you asked. So I received an email because you see,
from a penguin.
I'm moving about in penguin circles now.
Yeah, they're also like the one finger typers.
They've put me on their mailing list. Yeah, the penguin mailing list.
They know when there are people who they can invite into their colonies and into their.
Yeah. I'm an honorary penguin.
Yeah.
So what was
thought so.
funny though, I'm linked to the Daily Maverick.
Yeah.
And they send me headlines. They send lots of people headlines.
Yeah, not just you.
It's not just me.
But they make you feel special, and that's
They
what
do,
you want.
They do. So, but what's funny is sometimes they send like a series of headlines. So they've got 5 big stories. So they'll send you the headlines for each story. And I suppose not a great deal of thought goes into whether or not these headlines line up. But the one that came about the penguins was said inside the African penguin litigation, Turkey arrests opposition. So that's to do with the penguin litigation, and obviously the next story was about the government in Turkey arresting the opposition. But it seemed like this Turkey was involved in the African penguin litigation.
It may
for
be.
the birds. So anyway, there is breaking news in the whole penguin story. Yeah. So the 2 main NGOs, I suppose, involved in the preservation of the African penguin, which really is, I mean, it's no laughing matter. They are very, very, very endangered. Yeah. Critically endangered.
And beautiful birds, and just, these are ones we want to hold on to.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and
they don't
cuddle.
like it because they're quite slippery if you hold on to them. Yeah. But sandcob, which is the penguin people.
The penguin peeps,
The penguin peeps and the BirdLife South Africa are the 2 NGOs. They went to court to try and get some high fishing zones turned into no-go zones.
Yes.
This is around the major colonies. Did we say 6 colonies?
There are 6 of them across the Southern Cape and Western Cape kind of coastline.
Yeah. The Algoa.
That's it, Algoa. Yeah, I think that's probably
where these last few colonies of African penguins are.
Yeah.
So they're they're fishing zones for anchovies and sardines. They're not. The anchovies and sardines aren't doing the fishing. They
are. I'm sure if they eat other fish. I don't know if anchovies do. They're small, aren't they? They eat very small fish.
So we look. What was it called? Purseine fishing.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
Something
which I very cleverly gave you the technical details. It's a big round netty thingy.
Yes, the draggy one.
Draggy netty thing.
There we go.
Drag behind boats. They fish out these areas. So obviously, if the colonies are breeding in these areas, they need the fish.
Yeah, they need the fish, and they need to not get caught in nets. Generally speaking.
So the High Court, Judge President Ledwaba, basically put together the settlement or ruled on the settlement between the 2 penguin-friendly NGOs and the fishing industry. So they've declared 6 no-go zones for these big fishing vessels. And this has got to be implemented soon. This isn't like in years to come. No, that's like in the next.
It would have to be. I mean, they're very, very much endangered, and this is a great way of preserving them, so that many more can see them and engage them. And I like to picture as that gavel came down, and that judge just ruled it there. There were a bunch of very cute little flappy wings,
clapping,
doing their clapping. That's what I pictured.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It really is great. It's 2 weeks they've actually got.
Only 2 weeks.
Only 2 weeks to ensure that the closures are implemented.
Imagine
so that these boats are basically told, no, not anymore. Get out of those zones.
You're done. Otherwise, there are going to be problems.
I like to use the phrase, there's a lot of other fish in the sea.
Yes.
So they must just stay away from those zones with their commercial fishing. Look, with nothing against the fishing industry.
No, of course, we need them. It is so ridiculously essential.
Employs a lot of people. But just give the penguins a bit of a free zone.
That's it. And you don't want to completely rule out, species from a food chain that has impact on humans as well. It's not just looking after flowers where it's in a place that we need to use. From what I understand, they would have gone through a lot of this. Is the commercial fishing industry still able to survive? While not fishing there?
Would.
I would think so as well. But hey, on our beaches, Sedgefield made headlines across a bunch of news agencies this week with the Sandpiper Development. I think that's the right name for it. Is it the one there by the
Development
by the Mouth Beach? Just one of the most beautiful beaches, one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Well, it's
I'll
between
classify
the
it
Mouth Beach. It's closer to the Maioli side, but it's on that road between the two. And it used to be, as the developer mentioned in this article, it used to be a builder's rubble site along there.
Really?
That's what it was.
Oh, wow. I missed that
When
detail.
we first got here in '98, it was a builder's rubble dump
Yeah, and you were
site,
just throwing rubble there as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I can go maybe put a bit of my builder's...
No, you can't anymore.
I can't anymore.
It's privately owned land now. Yeah.
Oh, right.
But anyway, there's this huge development, the Sandpiper development,
Yeah.
and they are suing a local lady,
Yeah.
Tessa Hubert,
There we go. Yeah.
Tessa
Hubert.
Hubert,
Yeah.
because she protested against the development because she's very, very much into preserving the dunes.
Yeah.
So the delay, she's being blamed by the developer for delaying this development by
for quite a while, because you
I
need
think
to have...
it was 14 months.
Yeah. So you've got to have environmental impact studies. You've got to have public consultation and that. And it seems like she's been trying, she has for 14 months, you say.
She's delayed the product. They're saying she delayed the Sandpiper Nature Reserve by 14 months.
Whoa.
And they're accusing her of unlawfully and untruthfully objecting to the project. That's quite serious.
That's quite harsh.
Words.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she believes that their objections are basically designed to stop people. That they're suing her is basically a way of stopping other people from objecting against developments.
Yeah.
Now Tessa Hubert she really does. She's an environmentalist of note.
Yes.
We actually, I've chatted to her on a number of occasions about various things, and she talks the talk and walks the walk.
Whoa, okay.
Some residents will remember that there was a lot of work done above the river mouth, that car park by the river mouth, where a lot of walkways, pathways were going down the dune were in place. People were just going down any side of the dune
as you would.
Really affecting the dune vegetation.
Right.
So she came in, employed people, worked with the municipality and built up like vegetation fences, if that's the word, putting in like long rows of vegetation to stop people walking through.
That was her.
That was her.
Oh, wow. Okay, and
so
that's
basically giving the dune vegetation the chance to grow.
And I think that's just a great piece of evidence of her wanting to look after our town, wanting to look after the environment.
Yeah.
But you also hear the frustration. This is the difficult thing with this story, and I think why it's such a good one to discuss and to kind of track with, that you also hear the developer's kind of pain in this, that it would have cost the developer, I don't know if it's a him or her, I'm just going to say him because I don't know, but it would have cost them, like 5 million rand is what he's wanting to sue.
It has cost them close on 5 million rand.
Whoa.
So they filed the summons in December last year. And they're basically saying that the 40-month delay caused the company a financial loss of 4.875 million, which basically is inflated building costs, because as you know, building costs go up all the time.
Oh, yes.
And cost them an extra 119,570 if we're getting down to brass tacks in legal and consultancy fees.
I mean, that's a significant amount of money.
So, the harsh words, willfully and unlawfully making material misrepresentations, they say.
So it's not just pointing out things, it's saying that that's a strong accusation.
That's a strong accusation.
I mean, that is, if it's not true, that could be slanderous.
Yeah, well...
if it's not true.
If it's not true. And I must say, this article was originally published by Ground Up.
Ground Up, yes.
They're a great organization, and they do allow for republishing. So it has been republished.
Oh, cool. So we'll probably see it
in a number of... Yeah, it will be in the Edge.
Great. Okay.
And it's been in I think one of the Heralds and News 24. But they written by John Yeld, Y-E-L-D. And it's a very well balanced.
It is actually,
article.
No, it's an interesting
it
one.
gives both sides of the story, which is why.
So
why
I find
like
myself with kind of digital stories like this going through it a little bit too quickly. Like I can't believe how many details I missed out, and I think I've looked through it at least twice. And little things like that. So I'm looking forward to it in the Edge and actually just sitting and focusing on that.
As far as we can, we'll put the whole thing in. It is very good. As you say, you can understand the developers' frustration.
That's it, yeah.
Because they do have a period of what do you call it? Where people can object,
for comments,
to think, and I think her objections came through after that. After that
really?
period, I think that's what they're complaining about.
Okay,
but I think if she found evidence of reasons to object after that, then she does have a right to do that.
Absolutely.
So both sides of the story are there, and it's good that we have that.
It is. It's quite a tough one to figure out.
Yes, tough.
But that's not the only tough thing happening in Sedgefield this week.
Very well done. Very well done. Yeah, this is a different tough. This is TUFF. It's the event that's happening this Saturday.
Yeah.
The Sedgefield Tortoise Tuff.
Ooh, the Sedgefield Tortoise Tuff.
We've talked about it before. This last year was only 10 kilometers, the 10-kilometer event and the fun run. And this year, they're doing the full Tortoise Tuff.
Oh, really?
So there's a 30-kilometer run, which is really, really, really tough.
That's the one that's going to go on the road to Platbank.
Platbank. Well, it does all the hills that Sedgefield has.
Boy.
The Colomioli Hills, Spook Hill, the one that goes from Colomioli over the hill down to the other side.
Over the hill and far away.
Yes. And then Egret. Hill. No. That's the steepest one. Of steepy.
It must be the steepest.
Hills. Yeah. And then off to Platbank, and then at Platbank Beach, well, at the top of the car park there, you turn around and go up that steep hill to come back.
Oh, my word. Okay.
So it's all starting and finishing at the school. The big races, the 21, the 30, and the 10. I think they all start at 7. And I think the fun run starts at 7:30, but you'll have to have a look on the website.
Well, we'll put the link because you've got to register on the website.
Yes, you should register on the website. You can go the Friday evening, afternoon, evening, and do a late entry.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Not on the morning of the race.
Not on the morning. Okay, so it has to be, this is the last day. If you're listening to this on Friday, which is when we're going to today.
In fact, it's today.
Yeah, on Human Rights Day.
So hopefully we'll get this out before then.
Oh, we will.
We will.
I believe.
Okay.
Unless we are robots once again, or our voices are great, or you could just hear, or there was too much of the smell of bacon coming through the microphones.
Yeah,
which could happen.
Yeah, it does happen.
It's 21st century. Wilder things have happened.
It's a good thing because I went for a quick run before we recording this.
Oh, yeah?
So the smell of bacon is far better than the smell of bomber post-run.
Generally, yes.
Generally. So and look, I think the appeal is, even if you're not taking part, is to come out and give the runners and walkers a cheer.
Well, that's what I wanted to say.
And also look out for them. Don't try and drive over them.
But it's so cool to see
Nothing
all of the
more detrimental to a race
is that been happening?
When locals drive over the runners. It's just not nice. Really.
Cyclists.
And then you end up with a runner stuck on the bonnet of your car for days on end.
And that's not in the Spatial Development Plan.
No,
none of that.
Not at all.
That does it for us for this week.
Okay,
I think we've
cool.
covered absolutely everything for now, and that's been absolutely brilliant. Hey, Bomber?
Excellent. We'll chat soon.
Thank you, Daily Grind, that we could. Thanks, Charlene.
Thank you.
Thanks for the chat, Bomber. Cheers.
Did we ever get that coffee? We did.
Which coffee?
That one.